Hello, it's Tuesday, the 10th of September, and I've got my little friend here again. She wouldn't leave me alone, so I'm going to just talk with her here. Right, we're here to look at today's astrology and also to learn something about outer planet movements over the next 5 years. What I've done is I've made up a little chart, want of a better word. I'm just going to share it with you, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. I think she's fascinated by my lipstick. I don't know. Anyway, right, I'm just going to share this so that you can see what I'm talking about. Right. Now, I've spent most of the day doing this, so be gentle with me, and it's only in Word. But I think it's imperative that we get a visual understanding of the amount of movement that we're going to experience next year. And so what I wanted to do was just put that into a chart or whatever it is, a table like this, because it's only then that I think we can really kind of get our heads around it. Now, so what I've got I've put here at the top, we've got the years. I'm just trying to sort of, there, you play with that. At the top, we've got the years. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So a five year or 6 year? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 years. Well, actually, we're nearly at the end of this one. So, okay. And then I've put down the left-hand side the most well-known outer planets. I could have gone on with the dwarfs, but there's not much point really unless you're really into the dwarf planets. So Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, and I put Chiron in because it's not an outer planet, but my goodness me, do we notice when Chiron's doing something. So I think it's as well to include it as I'm a psychological astrologer, and honestly, Chiron tends to feature quite a bit in my work. Okay, now let's just look at the movements. I'll just talk you through this. So in 2024, Pluto has been in Aquarius and is going back into Capricorn, as we know. And then we'll move back into Aquarius, and then we'll continue in Aquarius for, I don't know how many years. Is it 16 something? I don't know. Okay. Now, the next, that is the sign for Capricorn. It's the old sign. I prefer it actually because it's the fish's tail, but it's the only one I could find on my astrology program. The Neptune, the next one. So Neptune is currently in Pisces, its own sign. And I have already spoken to you about the fact that Neptune just does not want to go into Aries. That's far too much energy. However, although it's hanging back in Neptune, in Pisces, sorry, for the rest of this year, there is no getting away from it in 2025. Neptune will move into Aries, then go backwards again into Pisces, and then have to go forwards again into Aries in 2026, and then stays on in Aries for a long time. Uranus, currently in Taurus, will move into Gemini in early 2025, and then because of the retrograde program, will go back into Taurus again, and then forward into Gemini again, and stay in Gemini for a long time. Saturn is currently in Pisces and will move into Aries, move back into Pisces, move into Aries again, and then spend 3 years is about right for Saturn, and it will move into Taurus in 2028 and then on into 2029. Chiron, in the meantime, doesn't move until 2026, and then we get the same pattern, moving into the next sign, going retrograde, and then moving into the next sign again and staying there. Okay, so what do I make of this? Well, wait a minute, and I'm just going to just stop the share for a second. 1 minute. Okay, so I think it's important to state that the zodiac signs, as far as I'm concerned, are the main building blocks of astrology. If as you know, I study Egyptology now as well, and as far as the Egyptians were concerned, the zodiac belt, which is the ecliptic, the apparent path of the planets as we see it going across the sky, was the most important thing to them. Everything to do with their roof art, the ceiling art, the wall art, etc., that is astronomical, is telling us about the counting of the hours, and it is always about the position of the sun to the earth, or to Egypt, if you like. It was crucial, and it meant an enormous amount. They were part of that skyscape, landscape, spacescape. They lived it. They were crucially part of the earth and the sun and its relationship. They had a place in it. And as such, they were observers, guardians, supporters of the cosmos, and the solar system, and the sun, the moon, the earth, as they took part in it on an hour by hour basis. But it was actually the ecliptic. And the great goddess, the sky goddess Nut, became to represent the ecliptic. She was the ecliptic. So it is such an enormous thing that I can't really emphasize enough that the zodiac signs and the energies of the zodiac signs are everything. And the rest of it is the icing, if you like, on the top. So when I talk about planets moving zodiac signs, the zodiac signs themselves, that portion of the sky, is receiving a planet. The planet is plowing through its energy, or sailing through its energy would be a better term, and then that planet leaves that zodiac sign, the energy again. So for me, it's what happens to the zodiac sign when the planet is in it. It is not the other way around. And I think a lot of people can get so hung up on transiting astrology that they just look at planets and the aspects between the planets, and they fail to see the significance of these zodiac signs and the implication for the atmosphere or the environment of the collective. So the collective unconscious, if you like, the collective conscious. This is all dictated actually by zodiac signs and what is happening going through them, whereabouts they are at that moment in a day, etc., etc. So I won't keep going on about it. Right, so I'll just share this again now. There we are. Okay. Right, so just sharing it again. So now I think I've spoken a little bit already about Pluto in Aquarius, now gone back into Capricorn for a little while, just to go over some stuff. Pluto's job is to perfect the DNA, or the genetic, the genetic character, fabric of life, and a zodiac sign in that case. And so Pluto's journey through that part of the zodiac belt, through that zodiac sign, is going to be about testing out, perfecting, and trying to improve where possible, so that it has more ability and integrity to stand in better stead in the future. The constant improvement is the improvement to the zodiac signs as they raise up and change and morph and become something better than they were before, as in energies, improvement of energy. Okay, so Pluto going through Aquarius. Well, I won't speak about that at the moment because we haven't got time, but I'll just say Pluto going back into Capricorn. Pluto's job really has been to make firm and to steady and to shore up and to make strong everything that Capricorn represents. And that's what Pluto has done. And so institutions, world money programs and finance committees and all the rest of it, banking systems have all been made more secure, more solid, and their durability has improved as a result of Pluto's relentless examination of their foundations, their roots. Okay, so it's gone back to do a bit more, no problem. When Pluto starts doing the same thing in Aquarius, boy, are we going to see some changes. And I'm looking forward to it. These things are going to be, I think, amazing. But I'll do a whole show on that one. Okay, enough to say that Pluto has done this first of all the big players, right? There's some significance in the fact that Pluto has finished in Capricorn, finished going retrograde backwards and forwards from Capricorn to Aquarius and backwards, and has finished doing all that, settles into Aquarius, which is all about the future, all about science, all about technology, all about artificial intelligence, all about aliens and discovery, ingenuity, yes, logic, but also the search for improvement in knowledge, science. So that, I think, is something that can be very comforting and rewarding over the next few years. And I think I think our abilities will become much more superior. And I think that's what we need to do, to up our game into the future and make it more secure and available. And I used to say we need to de-globalize and we needed to relocalize. And I think there is something in that, but I think that nevertheless has to sit alongside the great strides that we make in technology and into all Aquarius, the Aquarius energy, all the things it represents. And so people working from home, I think, best represents this, because we are relocalizing if we're not getting our car and traveling 2 hours to work every day. But we are still taking part in a technological revolution, a data revolution, because we know we're in the middle of that. Look how fast everything's going in that respect. So I think there's a lot of remarkable things that can happen to relocalize, but at the same time also climb above and out of our polluting ways, etc. Anyway, enough, that's another time. Let's just stick to this. So Neptune coming out of the illusional support of Pisces. So Neptune, all right, giving up his protective cloak and the lovely journey he's had recently. Well, not recently because Saturn's been in Pisces, but before Saturn arrived. And wearily, Neptune looks at the beginning, Aries, the first spark of life, springing up from the mud, and looks at Aries and thinks, oh, I'm really going to have to do this again. Okay. And starts to move into Aries to make the changes that only Neptune can make to Aries energy. And I'm going to say the same for Uranus. So Uranus being held tightly, clamped in Taurus, found it very difficult, no doubt. Uranus breaking into Gemini, oh my goodness, this planet is so going to enjoy itself. But Gemini itself is also going to get an incredible buzz from an air planet, which fills Gemini with the most amazing rapture. Like, whoa, this is exciting. Wow, look at that. That's exciting. Oh my goodness. So I think Gemini is going to have a great time with Uranus in it. I think going back to Aries, is Aries going to have a great time with Neptune going through it? Yeah, I think so. A little bit romantic, a little bit slow, a little bit slushy. But, you know, anyway, moving on. So Saturn's relentless testing of Pisces. Oh dear, that's not gone down terribly well. I think they're both exhausted. Okay, so Saturn moves into Aries. I think Saturn's well placed for this. Yeah, no problem. What Saturn wants to do is get its hands on Aries and test and test and test and make those improvements again. And then Chiron, as I say, it's just an extra, really. So Chiron, we don't really have to bother about in 2025, except to say that it is in Aries, which is the zodiac sign that Saturn has moved into and Neptune has moved into. And so then we have 3 outer players in Aries, turning all our heads, I might say. Let me just stop this share. Right, turning all our heads, I may say. All faces, all attention turns to Aries. Now, what is it about Aries that we all need to pay attention to? Because something's going on. If that many planets are getting into that space, it means when the smaller ones go through Aries, the little roadshow of the Sun and Venus and Mercury, means when they get to be in Aries, that is one huge weight of planets in Aries, right? So there are some huge fundamental changes to come to new beginnings. And that, I'm afraid, is the most exciting thing. And I'm not going to have time for much more. But yes, let's leave it at that. New beginnings. And I think that's kind of fun. I've had this feeling for ages. Is something going to happen? Is something going to happen? Why do I feel as if we're just treading water, waiting? And it was when I had a conversation with a dear friend this morning. He's also an astrologer. And then a penny dropped, and I thought, Alison, put it into a chart like you did before, because I did one of these years ago, and it really cleared up the 10 years from 2015. And so I did it again, and then suddenly I can see it so much more clearly. That I think next year is going to be a lot of fun, really. I do. I think it's going to be great. But I do think you should carry on listening to me so I can keep you informed of what's going on. Anyway, we shouldn't write off the rest of 2024 too soon. But I just wanted to give you the preview, the sneak preview. I'll be doing a whole big show, an hour show on 2025 in December. So I'll be covering all this again. But because you listen to me every day, you guys, my dear friends, my dear friends, you are getting this sneak preview before the rest of the world. Isn't that fantastic? I hope you thought that was. Do tell me what you thought of that. Was that exciting or what? Can you see it? Can you feel it coming? I can. Right, I'm going to leave you now. And I'm going to find this kitten, which is behind me, busy sticking all her pins into my back. Thank you very much, Tilly. I don't know. I don't know things. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now. Bye-bye, and I'll speak soon. Okay, see ya.